So I installed back the old original unit so far until the moment I find, the replacement unit with the same part number and supposedly the same EEPROM, the memory. And I'm gonna pull the car out of the garage right now, put a seat in, and hopefully we'll take it for the short spin around the block. Since it's not registered yet, I just want to make sure it drives back and forth, properly. So I'll be first to admit I already took the car for a drive for the first spin because my kid wanted to go with me, and it drives pretty good. The brakes are rusted, so they kind of scratch. I got the feeling like one of the bearings may be noisy, like the wheel bearing or hub bearing, but other than that it's pretty cool actually. Most likely it's gonna need a new battery, or at least this battery needs to be kind of discharged for a few times. Check engine light just came on, and I think I know the reason. I got a couple codes that says that there is no signal from the main O2 sensors before the cats. So it's dark again. So there we go. This is how the car from non-running nor driving became running and driving. So few things I need to take care about. The front O2 sensors, or the main O2 sensors before the cats. If based on the exhaust there was the water inside, if it went deep enough, it could probably damage the O2s. The O2s before the cats are physically lower located than the ones after the cats, so it could be the reason that the water reach those O2 sensors and destroy them, because I got the code for both of them for bank 1 and bank 2. The second issue I need to take care about the brakes. Probably the discs are worn, or rotors are worn. Needs to be replaced along with the front brake pads. I need to check the rear ones, and this dent on the bumper right here also eventually needs to be addressed. It doesn't bother me at all, but if I'll find the bumper in the same color, I'm probably gonna go for it and replace it. I won't bother removing this one, trying to fix it, then to respray it. It's not worth it. And as I told previously, I'm gonna be replacing the main or front or pre-cat O2 sensors, and it was a little challenge to get the passenger side off, so I used my trusty pipe wrench, and I barely get a spot just to get to the sensor, but it was enough for me to move it, and I got it undone. You can see like the thread is pretty much falling apart. The connector was okay. There was no water inside the connector, so which is very good. But the things got more interested on the driver's side. You see, there is no pipe anymore, and the reason is I couldn't undo the O2 sensor from this side because there were no space for me to put this pipe wrench. Before I got to the pipe wrench, I tried 7/8 wrench. I bought the special kind of removal tool or socket for the oxygen sensors from Advanced Auto Parts. Yeah, this is the one, but it was pretty much weak and it's spread apart, so it doesn't grip that the sensor anymore. So right now it's already a couple size more than it used to be. So it's gonna go back to the store. Hopefully they will accept it because it's a junk. It may undo the O2 sensors that are not as tight. Hopefully I'll be able to use the pipe wrench and undo this O2 sensor because I got much more room now. I got all the room in the world. There were some casualties. All 3 bolts snapped when I undone this portion of the exhaust from the exhaust manifold. So I'm gonna need. I already ordered 3 new bolts from FCP Euro, as well as the new gasket, new nuts. I ordered 2 new sensors. My previous idea was to swap the sensors because all 4 sensors are exactly the same part number. But after I was messing with this one for so long, I decided to leave those alone since there are no codes for those sensors, so let them be. And let's check it out if the pipe wrench will be able to undo this thing. Great, I think I was recording. I was fighting with the sensor, but pipe wrench and the mallet did the job done. So this is beautiful sensor. It will be much easier for me to put this thing back in place without the sensor because there is a tight fit right there. It was a challenge for me to remove this part with the sensor sticking out, so I'm gonna put this thing first and then I'm gonna put the new sensor in. It's gonna be much easier to put it back like with this 7/8 wrench. After quite a bit of finagling, I was able to put this part of the exhaust back in place. No sensor there yet, as well as on the other side. I'm gonna be waiting for them to come, probably like in 5 days or so, along with those replacement bolts. Everything is hand tight right now because I'm gonna be aligning the exhaust to avoid any exhaust leaks. But to my surprise, those horrible looking bolts, this one right there, and those 2 actually were pretty easy to undo. I thought I could never remove those nuts because they been exactly in the same condition as those and as those. Horrible. It's a new day today, and I just got a goodie bag from, what do you say, FCP Euro. Actually 2 packages came. This gasket came in a separate package sent with UPS Express. I'm not sure why. I mean, I didn't opt in for the express delivery, but so this is one order I placed, but they sent it in 2 packages. So let's do some unboxing and see what we got. Paper, 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 paper. Lifetime warranty. We've got new oil filter. It's just for the future. Since we did replace the filter just now. O2 sensor 1, O2 sensor 2, exhaust bolts, hopefully, exhaust nuts, and oil filter, and exhaust nuts and the oil plug gasket, and original Porsche coolant and brake fluid. And the reason I got those, I thought if I found the very original filters from 99 or 98 in the car, there is a good chance they did never flush the brakes or the coolant system. So I decided I'm gonna do that, probably off camera. There is nothing particularly interesting about it, but right now let's install the sensors and put the exhaust back together. I can't figure out the way if there is any difference what size what side I'm gonna put this gasket in place. So I guess I'm gonna put it like whatever, and if it's gonna be, you know, leaking, I'm gonna flip it the other way and call it a day. The new bolts came in a factor of like normal bolts, while the original ones are like the studs. So those are still OEM bolts, but for some reason, I guess as a replacement they don't sell studs but sell bolts. Doesn't make any difference to me, except it's probably require a couple wrenches to tighten them instead of just one, but that's works for me. I went ahead and also put some anti-seize grease. Maybe it's gonna make someone's life a little bit easier later on in case me or someone else gonna need to unbolt it again. Alright, beautifully looking new bolts, and 2 new sensors are coming in, and looks like they're coming already with the anti-seize grease on them, so I won't need to apply another coat. I'm gonna put those 2 and tighten the rest of the exhaust system. New sensors installed from both sides. Installation is much easier than removal. This has been tightened, 1 bolt here, 2 bolts here, 3 bolts here. Also, I'm curious about this kind of painter's tape on the wheel and on the bumper, so it's possible that it has been resprayed at one point, but I don't see kind of evidence of, you know, respray or something. So it's, and also the painter's tape here, I remember. I'm not sure what that all about, and if you can comment about if there should be any you know, covers like this one on those sides, let's say covering those lines. That's also, I don't know. But I'm gonna put the wheel back. I went ahead and purchased the new battery in Casca. It's a pretty fresh one, September of 20. Because the old battery, despite the charger was showing it's fully charged, I guess it's barely hold the charge, because every time I was starting the car it was kind of struggling to start. It was kind of, the starter was cranking pretty slow, and what I noticed, every time I was starting the car with the old battery, the spoiler light was coming on a dash. I think that happened because the voltage was dropping too low, so it's kind of reboot the either alarm module or engine computer. I'm not sure which one is responsible for this real spoiler. So every time I was starting the car, this light would, you know, come on the dash. I'll test it. Right now I didn't start the car yet after I replaced the battery, and I will expect for this light to pop on the cluster for one time, but later on technically it should not come on when I will restart the car again. I drove it yesterday. Drives pretty good for what it is. What I did not like are the brakes, most likely the front brakes. The rotors are pretty rough. The rotors in the rear are pretty rough as well, so when you brake you can feel like it's not a vibration, but it's, I don't know, hard to describe. So definitely the brakes needs to be addressed better sooner than later. And of course this freaking alarm module needs to be eventually replaced, because there is no way I'm gonna drive it. Another thing, when I lock the car, this solenoid does not lock the thing, so I'm not sure what's the best way to reach there. Should I remove the wheel liner? You can comment, and there is the code for this thing to, you know, the code saying that it's just not operating, so I need to address it. It's not urgent, I guess. It's not urgent. It still stays in the garage. No one gonna steal my gas, but I mean, something to be aware. What I also noticed, the left side, you know, the speakers is not playing well, so I'm not sure if it's related to the, how it goes, amplifier or the radio itself. I don't know.